Hi, welcome to Cariboo Country Lifestyle. My name is Cheryl. Today I'm going to be picking all of my tomatoes. We are getting into the middle of October, and this bed especially, I need to pick my tomatoes. But you look here, like this is my Amish paste. That is the biggest paste tomato I have ever seen as far as a paste tomato goes. That is probably the biggest one on this plant, and then I have many more that are that size or smaller. So I'm gonna start by picking all of these. I'm just gonna take all of the tomatoes off the plant. I have my blueberry bin behind me to put them into, and then I'll bring them into the house, and I am going to be putting just a newspaper over top of them, and as they ripen, then I will just process them in whatever way I'm going to be doing that. It could be tomato sauce, it could be a spaghetti sauce, it might be a pizza sauce, and pardon me. So we are going to get started and get these tomatoes picked off. I have so many tomatoes on these plants, but they're still so green. Like it's not warm enough for them to be ripening, so I might as well just bring them in. And we'll see how many I get just from, I have 2 plants of the Amish paste, and we'll see how many I get just from the Amish paste, and then I'll bring you back and I'll show you what we come up with. So I have removed all of the Amish paste, and I filled up my container just on the one side, and then what I'll do is I'll take the New Girl tomatoes on this side and I'll put them on this other side of the container. Now what I want to do is cut off all these little plastic strips, these ties that I used, and I've just got a little bucket plant to put them into so that I don't have a bunch of plastic in my dirt. Then we'll remove these plants, because in this bed, this is where I'm going to be planting my garlic. So I've got my wheelbarrow over here. We're just going to pull up these tomato plants. And put that into my wheelbarrow. This one is another Amish paste. Whew. Okay. Was growing through the panel. Just gotta release it back out. The New Girl tomatoes. And they're just a medium-sized tomato. Some are smaller. And I will remove those and put them on the other side in this bin. So what we have here, I've emptied off all my New Girl and my Amish paste. There was a few of my New Girls that were actually blushing, so those won't take long to ripen at all. And I've cut off the green strips, and now I will remove these New Girl plants as well. I ended up having to cover these up a couple of times with my sheets. One morning I had no idea it was going to freeze as hard as it did, and I didn't cover my plants up. I didn't get out here to cover my plants up, and that next morning I noticed there was frost on my roof, and I was like, oh no. So I came out here and they seemed okay, but I had to wait until later in the day to see if the plants were going to make it, and they did, so I was lucky. So then the next night I covered them up because they were the temperature was supposed to be at 0, and I didn't want to take any chances of losing my plants. So I covered them up, and I think I covered them up 2 nights in a row just to be on the safe side. So yeah, it's definitely time to get these plants out of here. But the frost did get my peppers in behind here. They're my cayenne peppers, so I'm just going to have to remove them and put them into my compost. So grab my tag for those pepper plants. I have my little bin there for all my tags because I just save my tags and I reuse them every year. I'll put these tomato cages together, and then I just store my tomato cages in my garden shed. Okay, so I've taken out all of the black Krim tomatoes on this side. I just have to remove this last black Krim tomato plant. And then on the other side, those are my rutabagas, and they can stay in the ground. So now this is my Aunt Ruby's German green, and I love this plant. Like, these tomatoes I love the color, I love the taste of them. They usually get a bit bigger, but this might have not have been as nice of, or got as much sun as when I had them over on that panel over there last year. They did amazing over there, so maybe that's just what it needed, was better sun, I guess. I don't know. We had a tabby cat, a male tabby cat, and he was a shop cat, and he was one of our mousers. Well, he ended up going missing probably over a month ago, and we figure that it had to do with wildlife in this area. I mean, we have cougars, we have foxes, we have coyotes, we have bears, and those things just happen. We lost his sister last fall. She got attacked by a fox and left to die. So that wasn't very good. And so the brother, he's been missing for over a month. So I decided to get 2 more new kittens. So I went to our local feed store, and there was a little paper thing on their wall saying that somebody had kittens. So I called the number, and the lady was saying she had these Bengal kittens. And I said, "Oh, how much do you want for your kittens?" And she said, well, I charged $300, and I'm just like, what? I've never paid anything even remotely close. Like, the kittens I get are free. I've never had to pay any big amounts for these kittens, and I was just like, well, I've never spent that much money on a cat, so no, that's not gonna work. So she tells me she has these 2 older kittens. So I'm like, oh, well, how old? And she says, oh, they're 4 months old. So I'm like, well, that's not too bad. Okay, well, I go and I meet her, and I check out these kittens. And, you know, they seemed nice. One was a orange, kind of like a reddy orange color, and the other one was white with blue eyes. So I was like, yeah, I'll take them. And so she's going to open up the crate on the orange one, and I thought it was hissing, but she says, oh, are you hot? And then I thought, oh yeah, maybe could be panting because it was hot out. And she had both of them in this small little crate. So then I gave it that, but no.
These kittens that's all they do. They hiss at you. They hiss at you, and when you try to pet them, especially the reddy orange one, you try to pet it and it tries to swat at you. It doesn't want you to have anything to do with it. It just wants to do its own thing, and don't go near it. Well, I have the friendliest dog ever. She's 2 years old. She is just so friendly. She absolutely loves cats. Well, this one, actually, I've only had these kittens for 2 days. And she had the reddy orange male, they're both males, has attacked my dog. I don't know what she did for it to attack her. I have no idea, but I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I got back in touch with this lady, and I'm like, I'm sorry, this just isn't going to work. I don't need my dog being attacked. This red cat hisses at you so much that I feel intimidated by this cat as well. And it's only a kitten. And I'm like, how is this going to work? It's not going to work. So I've contacted her, and she is, of course, gone away because it's Thanksgiving weekend. Happy Thanksgiving weekend, everyone. We live in Canada, so we have our Thanksgiving in October. So anyway, she's gone for the weekend. So she said that she wouldn't be back until Sunday or Monday. So then I'm like, well, maybe I will give them to the SPCA. And she seemed to be okay with that. Well, then I phoned the SPCA. Well, they're full, so they can't take any more cats. So then I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to work. So I messaged her back and I said, well, the SPCA has no room. I guess I will just have to store them in a room away from everyone because we're going to have 2 other dogs coming to our house. Well, if she's attacking mine, she's definitely going to attack these other 2 dogs, or the boy is going to attack these other 2 dogs, and their owners are not going to be okay with that. So I'm going to have to put these cats in a room, locked up, basically until I'm able to give them back to this owner. I'm like, she needs to be a lot more upfront about what these kittens are really like, because I've had lots of kittens and we've never, ever, ever have ran into this. So it's kind of crazy. Anyways, there's my vent for today. This side, I took off the old German tomatoes, but I want to show you. These are, on this side, the Carnival Blend. I want to show you the size of some of these tomatoes. Like, that is massive. I have another one. 2. Like, they're huge. Absolutely huge. Some of this one's starting to turn color. And this one too. But they're mad. They're so big. I mean, some of them are kind of ugly looking, but that's what these are like. Because this is from a tomato from the Brandywine family. And they're just not a very nice looking tomato. But boy, can they get big in size. So, oh, this one, I probably have to get it from the other side. It's too big. But unbelievable, huge. Just did so well for size-wise. Like it's huge. Just absolutely huge. These are all a Carnival Blend, which is, like I say, from the Brandywine family. I'm gonna take out my tags from them, put them in my container I have here, and then I have to cut the ties off. I don't want to get too crazy because I've got my corn salad planted on this other side. So I gotta be careful how I'm ripping these out because of the root system on these. Okay, as far as these, any of the cherry tomatoes, I'm just gonna cut them off with the vines on the tomatoes. So when I cut them, I'm just gonna cut the cluster of tomatoes right off, just like this. And I'm gonna put them in this little flat that I had from Pop. So it's just super easy. And then they can just finish doing their thing right on the vine. And then I will just take a look at them every few days and bring in whatever ones that are ripe, and they will do just fine. That one's all by itself, might as well eat it. They're still so good. Even with, it's actually supposed to get to 18 degrees today and tomorrow. So that's pretty awesome. So a little update on my vent. That was crazy. Absolutely crazy. These cats, they have, maybe it's because I've never had a cat that has any type of variety. These were Bengal kittens, 4-month-old Bengal kittens. And maybe that's what they do. Maybe that's what Bengal kittens do. But the one was so aggressive, it just would not stop hissing. The owner ended up calling a friend, and I got a hold of the friend, and I've already dropped the kittens off at her friend's place, which I felt bad for her friend because her friend is doing her and me a favor by taking these kittens back. And they're not even that small. Like, they look like they're a young adult kitten. Like, they're a big kitten. And I guess that's the other feature of a Bengal. I've never had Bengal kittens before. So anyways, I took a little break, dropped these kittens off. I was stressed out over these kittens, which is funny. My husband's gonna come home. He went to Vancouver for a shotgun match, competition match in Vancouver, and he's gonna come home, and I'm gonna be like, well, I don't have the kittens anymore, and he'll be like, what? So anyway, so that one's split. I'll give that one to the chickens. They'll love it. So anyways, I've already taken the kittens back. I felt really bad about that, but I just can't imagine having my dog having to be stressed out over what these cats are gonna do to it. Like, that is stressful. It was stressful for her. It was stressful for me. Like, I've never been stressed out about kittens before. Ever have I ever been stressed out about kittens. But these kittens stressed me out. It was absolutely crazy. I did the same thing last year, was cutting them off right on the vines. And it actually worked out well, especially for cherry tomatoes. This was the Sun Gold, Natural Black Cherry, and the Chocolate Sprinkles. I also have to grab the tags. Got the last of the tomatoes out here in the raised bed gardens. So I found another box. Look at that cluster. These are the Sweetie cherry tomatoes. They are such a good producing cherry tomato. And I have another cluster on the other side that I have to get. And then these are the yellow pear, which I have lots of these as well. And then I think these are the cherry Roma. And they branch out all over the place. And I've got a few singles. This one's almost ripe. So that definitely needs to come in. Like this cluster, I don't know how to, I'm gonna have to get it from the other side. Oh, one of the tomatoes fell off. Like, look at how long that cluster is. That's crazy. Barely fits in the box. Okay, let's take a look. So those big ones, that is the Carnival Blend, and that was the Brandywine family. Then this was the Mystery Roma tomato beside them. Over here in this box, this is the Sweetie Cherry tomato, the Yellow Pear tomato, and the Roma cherry tomato. Then here we have the Amish paste, in the middle black Krim, and then on this side is the New Girl, and I have two little peppers there. These are the Sun Gold cherry tomato, the chocolate sprinkles, and the natural black cherry. Underneath I have the Aunt Ruby's German green. Those are the orange colored ones, and then beside them, those are the old German tomatoes. All I have left are the tomatoes on my deck, which I will probably do those tomorrow. I'm just going to remove these tomato vines off of here. I have a couple of pepper plants that I need to pick. There's just a couple of jalapeno peppers and some sweet banana peppers on these. Easy, super easy to pick. We'll get rid of those plants too. Put those over in by the compost pile, and then my husband can deal with those plants when he comes back and gets a chance to go over there and deal with the compost pile. I'm going to just sign off for today, but I'll be doing more work tomorrow as well. I've still got lots to do. It's Thanksgiving, but it's not a holiday for me. I gotta do as much work as I can. Hi, welcome back. We're on the next day. Today I'm going to be planting garlic in this bed. But first I have to amend it with some compost. I have 4 kinds of garlic. The first kind is called Baba Franchuks. This garlic I got from a garlic festival that we went to in August, and I picked it up, and this type of garlic is a hardneck. All 4 varieties that I have are all hardnecks, and that's what I grow. We have a very cold winter, and the hardneck garlics work best in this climate. The Baba Franchuks is strong when raw, but it's mellow cooked and has delicious garlic flavor. So I ended up buying 2 heads of that to plant. Then I have the standard red Russian garlic. I bought 2 big heads to plant that as well. I also got just a basic white garlic. I bought 2 heads of that, but I noticed when I was breaking the heads apart, some of the cloves had already gone soft and were drying up. So I don't have as many of those as I had anticipated that I would, which is unfortunate. The other garlic that I got from the garlic festival was an Asian Tempest. And the Asian Tempest is a hot, intense, and spicy when raw, and then it's sweet and spicy when it's cooked. So I've never done those 2 varieties ever before, and I have always done the red Russian garlic. I did it last year. I didn't get very big heads of garlic, but I got lots of small cloves of garlic in that, and I've been using that up. It won't take me long to go through that with them being such small heads. I'm like putting 2 cloves of garlic when I want like to do 1 clove. I'm putting 2 in because they're so small. So I'm gonna go and get a load of compost, and I'm going to put a good layer, at least 2 inches, of compost on this bed. And I keep these panels up all winter long because I will grow my tomatoes against this panel. I grow tomatoes against these panels every year. So it's really nice compost. It's decomposed very well. And I still have lots more where that came from. If you notice, my voice sounds even worse than the way it did a couple of weeks ago when I had a cold. Well, I don't know what's going on, but I haven't been able to get rid of it. So hopefully it's nothing too crazy. Blowing lots of crap out of my nose. And then yesterday I started coughing. So I'm just like, oh great. I'm gonna be sick again. But I still got stuff to do. And I've got enough of plants that I've taken out of the garden. Chicken pine shavings and manure and cut grass. So we have lots more materials for Jamie to make me more compost. Lots to add. I've even started getting shredded paper given to me from my work because they're in the photocopy room. There's quite a bit of shredded paper that goes on in there. So they are saving shredded paper for me also. Okay, I'm gonna go back over here. I'm just gonna use up all of this in this bed. Use this hoe to kind of move things around. And kind of get that compost mixed in with the soil. Get that mixed in. And I'll come down here. Mix it in this corner too. It'll just give my garlic a good start here with the dirt being able to be mixed in really good. Okay, so now that I've got this mixed in pretty good, I mean there's still quite a bit of compost on the top layer, but that's okay. The garlic will do just fine in that compost too. Because even when I amend my other beds, all I do is just put a layer of compost on, and I don't even dig it in. I just put it on and leave it for the winter, and then in the spring when I'm putting in my plants, it gets mixed around then. Okay, now I need to get some tags and mark my tags on what garlic I'm putting where. Okay, so I've labeled my tags, and now I'm going to be starting with my red Russian garlic. And with the garlic, I'm going to be planting them 2 inches deep, 4 inches apart. And I'm putting it in so that the blunt end goes to the bottom and the pointy end is the top. And I will just push it in 2 inches. And for 2 inches, it's just going to go to my second knuckle on my pointer finger. So I will push that in 2 inches. cover that one up. So then I gotta go 4 inches for my next one. Okay, I'm just gonna mark this and I'm gonna go get something that would be a lot easier. I was thinking to myself, why am I not using this dibble that had my husband make me, because it has the markings on it. So here, this is 4 inches, and then 2 inches up, that's 6 inches, 8 inches, 10, 12, 14, 16. And that already is got the measurements on there with those lines. I asked him to do that. So I am just going to go down to where it comes to the tip. And I need it 4 inches space. So that's easy. I lay it down. There's 4 inches. I'm going to push that into the ground and drop my clove of garlic in. That makes it, oh my gosh, so much easier. Takes the guesswork out. So again, put my clove, cover it up, 4 inches down. And I'm putting it in upside down. Make sure you don't do that. And you have to kind of twist the dibble so it doesn't just pull the dirt back up with it. I'll just get my garlic, twist it up, put my big clove in there. That was a big one. And I'm trying to keep it close to this edge because when I plant my tomatoes, I still need them to climb up this panel. So I don't want to be crowding in my plants too much either, because I still need to plant. I need to keep that in my head for next spring when I'm planting my tomatoes. And then come July, probably, well, this year it was the end of July that I would be digging up my garlic. But, I mean, each year is different, so you just never know. One more, which is perfect because I'm almost at the end of this row. So that'll be great. And I like that idea because now that I know how close I am, something in the corner here like a calendula or a zinnia or any type of marigold. So that's my last one of the Red Russian. So now I think I will do the white garlic beside that one, and I'm gonna go 6 inches from this row over, and I will put the white garlic in next. So again, push that down. Holy, having a coughing fit. I'll grab the white garlic. These cloves are definitely nowhere near as big as the Red Russian, but that's okay. I think I have more because they aren't as big. More to plant. This just makes it so easy. I love it. Forget it. My dog's barking at something. I would chase some deer out of my yard. There was 4 deer in the yard. 3 bigger ones and a baby. So I'm not sure which was the mama of the baby. Okay, I'm gonna keep planting this white garlic, and I'll let you know how much I ended up getting. Over here on this side, I'm just on the other side of this bed, I'm going to plant the Bubba Franchuk first, because I have the most cloves of it, and these are a lot smaller even than the white one that I planted. So I'll go down, put that in, measure it 4 inches from there, and always make sure that the tip is at the top, and we'll see how many we get, because then I need to plant the Asian Tempest beside it. Or if I don't fill up this row, I could plant it at the end of it. Well, I'll just have to wait and see how many I end up getting in here. Actually ended up planting that full row of the white garlic, and I had 2 cloves left, so I went to the end of where I planted the Red Russian, and I put those last 2 cloves at the end of the Red Russian, so I'm not going to be able to plant any flowers as I had previously said that I could do, but that's okay. This dibble works so well. I don't even know what my husband made this out of. I don't know if he had an old broom handle or what he did, or if he actually cut it out of scrap wood that he had laying around. That I have no idea. Yeah, this is my last clove, and I have, see how many I have of the Asian Tempest. So I finished off right there. I have 6 cloves. Well, maybe I'll put this tag right in behind, and I will plant the 6 cloves. And there's 2. Okay, and I'm gonna go in from that over, just over to the side, and I'll plant these last 2 cloves. And then they'll be somewhat together. And then I can still plant plants up against this panel. Okay, so now I've planted my garlic, and now I'm going to get myself some straw and put a thick layer of straw over these garlic that I've just planted. So what I have here is I have a bag of coarsely chopped straw, and I get this from our local feed store, and I use this to usually mulch around my tomato plants. I actually didn't do that this year, but I'm going to use a layer of this over top of the garlic that I planted. And then I have some old straw in my wheelbarrow, and this was straw that I picked up a big round bale of straw, and I was using that for our pigs that we were raising, but then we found out we couldn't raise pigs anymore here. Our property's not big enough. So I have a bunch of old straw from a round bale that was over by my husband's truck, and I need to use that up. I will be using it up to cover my strawberry plants over the winter as well. So first, I'm just going to spread this cut straw over, and I'll do a fairly thick layer of it. And then I'm going to do a layer of this old straw as well. Like I did the exact same thing last year with my Red Russian as I did with my Purple Mexican. The Red Russian did fine. The Purple Mexican is the one that didn't do good. So, I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to try and do what my husband said I should do, and we'll see what happens. And the rest of this I'll put on this side over this new garlic that I'm trying. I'll just shake it over the row all the way down, because I don't have very much of this chopped straw left. But it was enough that I could use it up. And I'll just spread it out so that it's over everything. So here I can do a fairly thick layer of this straw, and that should make up the difference for a thick layer of straw. I don't think I can possibly go any thicker than that. Well, I could, but I'm not. We'll go down this side with my straw. There. That's definitely anywhere from probably about 4 inches, I would say. So there's the finished product. I think that's a pretty good layer above the top of the raised bed, and I think that should be more than enough. So I'm happy with that, and I've got all my tomatoes removed. Got them removed from this bed. And from this bed, all that's left now are beets, carrots, and my kale. Got to remove from this bed. All that's left here is the little sprouts of corn salad. They sure haven't done much since I planted them. And then in the back there, that's the Hikari salad turnip that I've planted. And in front of that, that's the Chinese toi choy that I planted as well. So that's out of the tomatoes are out of the garden over here. Tomatoes are out of the garden over here, which means I can amend this bed, because all that's left are these purple onions, and look at those sweet peas. They're so pretty. Yeah, sweet peas. I got one of the white marigolds in here. I still got some nice marigolds, so I'm not going to pull those out yet. And then I've got some onions still in the garden that reseeded themselves from last year. But I still haven't taken out over here my eggplant. Look at that. That little eggplant there, and then my other one here. I don't think they're gonna get any bigger. I'll probably end up losing those too. So here's my sauerkraut. I decided to put it in jars this time. So I still did the Savoy cabbage with fresh garlic, celery seed, and some coarse sea salt. I've put them in these jars. I ended up putting a weight in the jar. I put a cabbage leaf on top. I put a weight in the jar, and I'm using one of these pickle pipes, and it can still be breathable. Okay, I'm gonna be cooking up a pork loin roast tonight for dinner. My youngest son is coming over for dinner tonight. He can't be here tomorrow for Thanksgiving dinner. He has to work. So I invited him over to come over tonight. So we're going to do a pork loin roast and some roasted vegetables, which reminds me I have to go and pick some more potatoes. So I'm going to roast some potatoes with some onions and maybe some celery and carrots, just a bunch of roasted potatoes in a pan, some peppers as well. It's really good. And we'll have that with our dinner for tonight. And I have to get out there and mow that lawn before it rains again. And we'll see you again the next time. Thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, put a like in there. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.